When classified information gets disclosed in an improper way, there's a breach, something, whatever happens, the rules require a damage assessment. A damage assessment by the intelligence community to figure out what the damage is and take steps to mitigate that damage if necessary. And of course, you can't take steps to mitigate damage unless you figure out what it is. It's no surprise during the Obama administration that they didn't want to do that with Hillary Clinton, despite her having dozens of classified documents on her laptop. And as Judicial Watch has recently exposed, email documents from the Clinton server were on the laptop of Anthony Weiner. Yes, Anthony Weiner. Look it up. Including the identity of a CIA official. And of course, the Obama people knew all about this. They didn't want to do anything because that was rigged, that investigation. So we asked, thinking it was a new day, the Trump agencies to investigate this. Office of Director of National Intelligence would have been involved. The State Department would have been involved. The Justice Department, obviously. We said, look, the rules require, we wrote a letter, the rules require you to do a damage assessment when there are these types of alleged breaches. James Comey said they presumed her email had been hacked. Of course, they didn't do anything. As I said, the damage assessment. So you would think this president's new appointees would want to do it. No. In fact, they've gone to court and said that Hillary Clinton's breaches of national security and the classified material that was placed on the internet equivalent of a public park bench, as I've termed it, weren't serious enough to warrant a damage assessment. So you had classified information on Anthony Weiner's laptop. Hillary Clinton had classified information all over the place, communicating with people who we know were hacked, such as Sidney Blumenthal, who's also involved in the dossier effort against President Trump, or then candidate Trump. And this Justice Department, this State Department, this Office of Director of National Intelligence, Tillerson, Sessions, Coates is the Director of National Intelligence now. They don't want to do a damage assessment, as the law requires. You know, one point I made earlier on Twitter, you can follow me on Twitter at Tom Fitton, and of course Judicial Watch's Twitter is at Judicial Watch. You know, Comey said boo, and they appoint a special counsel like that. And we've got all these allegations against Hillary Clinton that haven't been pursued adequately. We all know that investigation was compromised. Now we've got the new information that's come out. We now know that about the dossier and the unmaskings and the allegations there. And this Justice Department can't figure out how to appoint a special counsel. Now I hear they probably might appoint a special counsel, but I told you why I don't think much will come of it, nevertheless. Now, with respect to Hillary Clinton, we don't need a special counsel. We need prosecutions. We don't need prosecutors. We need prosecutions. There's enough to arrest Hillary Clinton just based on the evidence that Judicial Watch has uncovered. And even looking at the FBI materials, an honest FBI director or Justice Department prosecutors would have enough to prosecute her. So there's a real miscarriage of justice going on here, because there's no evidence of Russia collusion between the Trump campaign and the Russians to steal the election, which was the fundamental basis for Mueller's investigation. I mean, he issued these indictments a few weeks ago of these Russians, these Russian troll farmers. It's absurd. I don't necessarily doubt they were doing as alleged. A, they're never going to come in to the country to be prosecuted, so it's meaningless in that regard. B, it shows that there is no collusion between the Russians and the Trump people, because in the indictment, it says that these Russians, to the degree they work with the Trumps, anyone on the Trump campaign, They said the Trump campaign had no idea they were Russians because they were pretending to be Americans. So the Mueller investigation has been going on for almost a year. No evidence of a collusion between the Russians and the Trump campaign. We know the only basis for it was this phony dossier created by the Hillary Clinton campaign. And it's about time, and I've been calling on the Mueller investigation to be shut down for some time, put up or shut up. We didn't hire you to prosecute every crime in the world that you think you can find just because you're targeting people. It's the exact opposite of the way the Justice Department and the justice system is supposed to work. You're supposed to have evidence of a crime, or good reason to think a crime occurred, and investigate it. You're not supposed to have a target and then try to figure out if there's a crime associated with that target. So that's the crisis we're facing right now with this Mueller operation. And, you know, you'll hear talk about tax reform and all these other wonderful policy things out of the Trump administration, which is, as a conservative, good, more or less. But we really need to address this rule of law crisis at the Justice Department. We really do. And this is what Judicial Watch is trying to do through our educational efforts to expose the misconduct surrounding the targeting of President Trump, the protection of the Hillary Clinton Obama gang. That's why we have all these lawsuits. We uncovered the Clinton emails. We're still uncovering Clinton emails. I guarantee you almost every month from here on in, there'll be new evidence that Hillary Clinton didn't tell the truth and had classified information that she shouldn't have had and abused it, or misused it, or mishandled it, however you want to call it. So let's stop talking about investigating and let's get it done. And in the meantime, we're just going to keep on doing the work we know how to do.